everybody. It's Ross Skorzewski. It is Tuesday. It is noon, and welcome to episode 13 of the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show. I am your host, Ross Skorzewski. Super excited about the next 30 minutes that we get to share with you. Thank you for dialing in with us today. Once again, joining me, the man, the one and only, the hormone whisperer, Dr. Patrick Flynn, my brother from another mother. How you doing today, my man?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. We got so much good stuff happening here. We got offices open up all over the country.
I know, right?
We got some amazing things going on all the time. So I said, we always have great, exciting things happen that way.
It is every week, and that's what...
Even though we make so many people mad and frustrated, especially after today's questions.
Through the questions and the people that we work with, we frustrate every day. There's always something amazing that takes place at the Wellness Way. Hey, just want to continue. Once again, thank you so much for continuing to like and to share. If you're watching us right now, do us a favor. Do yourself a favor. Matter of fact, do your friends a favor. Invite them to come and be a part of this episode right now. This episode today is going to be filled with a lot of crazy. It's going to be funny. It's going to drive you nuts a little bit, and maybe you'll identify with some of it along the way.
Yep.
But hey, real quick though, Minneapolis.
Dr. Sean, he's
Dr. Sean, yeah, he's on his way over here. We've got another office opening up. So for those of you who are in the Minneapolis area, Bloomington, Eden Prairie, all that, Edina, we've got an office that's going to be opening up, and look out for that.
Last week of October.
Last week of October.
We actually, Ross and I have worked so very hard. He'll never say this because I'll say about him that way. But he comes on. He does so many great things for the Wellness Way. But what happens? I also taught him real estate.
Mentor.
So he's understanding real estate at a high level. So he worked out a great deal over in Minneapolis that way. We got a beautiful office. Dr. Sean is going to be here training for the next couple of days.
Yes.
He's coming here every week. He's also working in the Cottage Grove's office over by Dr. Jay.
Jay Wonkin, yes.
So I said, just great people all over the United States.
Even that, also for those of you in Colorado, we do have offices there. We have one in Colorado Springs. We also have one.
Tiffany's
Dr.
there.
Tiffany Graham, as well as the one south. What is
north?
No, Jacqueline.
Oh, yes, but she's north of Tiffany.
Oh, is she north of Tiffany?
She's north of Tiffany, and then it goes Colorado Springs, Castle Rock, and then it goes Denver.
Castle Rock. So Dr. Jacqueline is going, and she's going to a Wellness Way affiliate. Amazing doctor. But then, for those of you north of Denver, in the Superior area, we've got a new doc that is going to be amazing. Dr. Stephen Rumbuck, he's going to be opening up a new practice that we just put together.
Yep.
Once again, another opportunity for Wellness Way to make an influence in all the communities that we are able to do so. So look for a clinic near you. So you ready for this today? I don't know if I am
ready because I'm going to divert the question a little bit to you on this one too, because there's so many aspects to this question. And guys, let me tell you this. This happens all the time. We get responses and people are like, Doc, I never thought you would answer that way. That's the whole idea of the show, is to give you a very different perspective on things that way, because most canned, natural answers are not the way to go.
Right.
And stuff like that. So today's going to be a fun one. It's going to be something that's going to, because we're talking about birth control, it's going to be something that is going to impact a lot of ladies across the United States. So give the question. It's going to be a fun one.
Here we go. Question number one coming to you, raw and unscripted. And that will be our delivery as well.
That's right.
Hi, Dr. Flynn. I am 32 years old, and we have 3 children. My husband does not want any more, but I would not mind. But because of that, he wants me on birth control. I started taking it, and I don't feel good. I don't even feel like the same person. I have gained weight. I'm more emotional, but my husband said he will not use condoms. I've been following you for a long time and know it's not good for me. And the more I research, the more I'm scared that I'm taking it.
Yep.
What research can I give him to convince him that I should not be on it? Also, he says it is fine because my OB said it's the best way to prevent another pregnancy. And let the comments commence.
Yeah. Okay. So, ladies, let me explain this. It's kind of interesting because I find it so funny that women, for example, in a way, they'll take care of the body, they do what they do, but the minute their husband says they want to do something that way, they do it.
Yes.
You want research? Stop having sex with them. There's your research. Do you understand? Just say, you're not having sex with me if you don't use a condom. He won't use condoms. Are you freaking kidding me? Ladies, do you understand that you have the control? And I said, and now people say, well, Doc, being a Christian woman, I just got to do what
The
we want
wife
to.
is always supposed to submit to what her. Let me tell you something. I have worked within the church. I've worked alongside
20 years.
one of the greatest marriage enrichment speakers ever, Mark Gungor, with Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. I've done counseling. I know he has, and we speak into this. Some of you ladies out there who really wrap your noggins around this and over-spiritualize this idea, well, that the husband is the head of the household and that whatever he says goes, that I should submit. If he's putting you at a place, and now we're talking about birth control here, where he's
unhealthy place,
making you take this, and he says he will not use condoms, as if that's the only way that he will be intimate with you, is that if you do that, then you need to rattle that boy's cage.
That's right.
You need to get a hold of him and you shut down the shop and you say, this bad boy is closed. This garage is closed because I ain't doing nothing. I'm not putting that in my body unless you are willing to use condoms. I'm telling you right now. Well,
he will change overnight.
He said, I should submit. No, that's crazy.
Yes.
Dysfunction junction, ladies.
Because it didn't become a discussion. My husband won't use condoms. And say, guess what? He'll use condoms really quickly. You know why?
Yes.
After actually the testosterone starts building up and his sperm retention starts going to his brain, guess what happens?
Yes.
He's going to, ladies, trust me, you have more control over them than you think, okay?
Here's the other aspect to this too, Doc. He's saying, number one, that the OB says it's the best thing for her to use to prevent pregnancy.
Doesn't mean it's best for her.
Do you want to know what really is the best thing to prevent pregnancy? Abstinence.
Yes.
I'm serious.
There you
Shut
go.
down the shop.
That's right.
You'll have no kids.
Yes.
You'll frustrate the ever-loving daylights out of that guy, though, because the moment you tell him no is the moment that he's going to go for a period of time without being intimate with you. And like Doc just said, you know what he's going to reconsider real quickly? The use of condoms.
That's right.
The use of protection.
His stance. Now let's go a little bit more on a health standpoint that way. Number one, ladies, birth control itself, for example, is very detrimental to your human health.
Yes.
By far. It's listed as an endocrine disruptor. It throws off the cycle. You try to regulate everything that way, and trust me, you're going to have a massive problems that way. Okay? But on the flip side, so she did emotionally break down and take birth control, and on top of it, she knew right away that guess what? She started to feel bad. Okay?
Yes.
Now think about this, ladies. I want you to picture this. I want the average person that has no problem to take any medication. Do you understand what it does? It makes you sick.
Absolutely.
Any medication. Actually, a medication by definition is a non-lethal dose of a lethal substance. That's the definition. You understand? And so if a healthy person takes a medication, they become sick. So of course, this woman, for example, 3 beautiful kids.
Yes.
Pregnancies, no problems that way. Now goes on a hormone disruptor. Of course, she's going to feel like hell and gain weight and things like that. It's even a bigger thing. What's that?
And he wants her to do this, and it's really now because I'm sorry, I went on a squirrel thought for a moment because it's absolutely crazy. The woman now doesn't feel like the same person.
Go for it.
Which means now that every time she looks at herself, she's seeing her body change. She's probably gaining weight. Her emotions are completely out of whack.
She's not going to want to get naked.
Not at all. And she's not going to want to get naked with you narcissistic individual.
That's right.
Who is this about?
He is actually setting her up for not only health failure, but relationship failure.
Absolutely.
Because she's going to shut down and go, I'm not pretty anymore.
Yes.
I'm not the man, I'm not the woman that he married, and therefore, guess what? I don't want to, women are, ladies, it's really funny. You're so subconscious about your bodies.
So
do you understand? That's right. Ross is too. Okay? But the thing is this, it's really funny, and most guys don't care. Most guys just want to have the physical act of it that way and stuff.
Yes.
So don't do this. It's a disruptor to the whole body that way. It's making you sick. Say no. And guess what? And if he actually gets disruptive about that way, you know what kind of man you're dealing with that way.
Yes.
You're saying you're not his puppet. He does not control you, especially causing you health problems. You've done your own research.
Yes.
Do you understand? So now the research. Well, let's go this a little farther that way.
Let's do it.
Okay. Now it's interesting. You want to talk about research, ladies? You can do this. Okay. To start taking, before you take birth control, take a hormone test, okay? Yes, you can see the pre and post effects after, but take a saliva hormone test. Because here's what happens. It's interesting because that hormone shows up within your fluids. Not only, for example, your bloodstream, but also shows up in your saliva, your vaginal secretions.
Yes.
So every time that you kiss him, every time that he has sex with you, guess what happens? He gets the hormone. You are passing it to him. That's why, for example, some of these men are coming in, and we've had patients constantly like this. Men have come in, and their progesterone levels and estrogen levels are bad, and all things like that. And they're like going, how is that possible, doc? And I look at him and say, is your wife on birth control? Well, yeah. Well, you're taking it too then.
See, that's going to be hard for them to understand. But once they hear that, though, and it's affecting them on a physiological level, oh, good grief. It really makes me want to peel the skin off my eyelids, and because it really is dysfunctional, because it's affecting their wives clinically, it's affecting them emotionally, and it's going to affect him.
It's going to affect his boys. Do you understand? It's going to drive it creates endocrine disruption in the male himself. That's why a lot of male hormone problems start from your wife taking female hormone synthetically birth control, and now it diffusely passes to the male, and they wonder why they're sick.
It's insane. And then here's the biggest kicker, though. And I'm hoping, for the love of God, I really am hoping that this husband, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to setting up an environment for his wife to thrive on a relational level as a wife, that he would really have her best interests in mind. Because if that were the case, he would not be asking for this. If he really had her best interests in mind for the relationship and her physiological well-being, this would not be the course that he would ask her to pursue, because it will inadvertently affect him. She will not want it emotionally. She will not want it physically. And he will. And therefore, you shut down shop, or this is what's going to happen. She will do it because she feels obligated to. She will do it because she feels like it's her only way. Well, I'm supposed to submit. I'm supposed to give myself to him. I mean, I'm just supposed to do this. I mean, what if I say no? He'll stop loving me. If he becomes a jerk and stops loving you, then you need to rattle that boy's cage. Then obviously his eyes and attention are more on what he wants than what is right for you and for his relationship with you. Exactly. And think about it this way. You're making your wife sick. You're making your wife sick. And you know what happens? You want to talk about research? That boy doesn't want research. No, he doesn't. He's not going to look at it. No. He's going to blow it off, and he's going to use leverage because your doctor said it's the best way to avoid pregnancy. Well, your doctor said something right. It's one of the best ways to avoid pregnancy, but it's one of the most devastating things to human health for a woman's body that way. So he's taken it out of context that way. And here, you really think he cares about research when you tell him you're not feeling good, you're gaining weight and stuff like that, and you're gonna give him some research that's going to show it that way? That's their cover up. That's like, well, prove it to me. Yes. Well, and you can't prove it to, I mean, all these things you can prove, but you can't prove it to an illogical person. There's people that will put their head in the sand. There's people, for example, that you can show that here, it even happens, for example, on vaccine reactions. So many vaccine reactions happen. And people even know people, but they'll put their head in their sand because they don't want to deal with it. Yes. You're saying the same thing. So I'm telling you right now, for example. Take a stance with him and just say, no, I will not take this. But not only that, you can say no, and if he throws a fit, cut sex off. Absolutely. Cut it off. And some of you are going to freak out by that. The fact that you would say, oh, you're telling me to use sex as a weapon or a tool against my husband to get him to follow hook, line, and sinker? I'm telling you, at some degree, you're going to have to do something. A man will respond right quick. You're not getting him to buy you a new freaking car. You know what I'm saying? You're getting it because you're becoming sick. Yes. You're not using it for a manipulation tool to say, buy me a new house, so you're not getting any. Correct. This is talking about, this is going to devastate this woman's health. It's going to make her sick as a dog. It's going to give her cancer. Oh, guess what? Now, remember, they're not probably going to have any more kids, but think about this. Okay, guess what? So cancer, right away there. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the major side effects of birth control. Who said so? Birth control. Yes. Talk about research. Yeah. Just read the darn packet they send with it that way. The amount of things it causes and disruption it causes that female's body. So I said, I know some women are freaking out about what you're saying as far as like, you'd use it as a manipulation tool. No, you don't. He's putting you in a very sick, very undermining state that's your body at risk. It's going to devastate your life. Yes. You're saying? It devastates your life to where, good, get cancer. He ain't getting any sex. You want to see research acted out in your home? Just tell the boy no. Tell the boy no. And you can, and then we'll put you on the show. Yes, because I bet you telling him, well, I won't use condoms. Well, fine, then we're not having sex. Yep. I will not be intimate with you. Well, I want you to take birth control. Your OB said this. No, this is an end discussion. I'm not doing this. If you don't do this, I will not do this. And I promise you, there will be a period of time where that boy's thinking will change right quick. And if it doesn't, well, on top of it, then I'm sorry, because you have a very selfish husband. And I'm making an assumption here, because maybe we should have sent an email back on here. Maybe. Well, I mean, but this is why, here's what happens. Guys, listen, if you're watching, if you're going to choose, because let's say you both don't want to have kids, don't have any more kids that way, then husbands get a vasectomy. Now, I'm not even for vasectomies because they're not always safe, and testosterone levels are affected a little bit that way. I hope you're not listening, Leslie. Yeah, that's right. No vasectomy, okay? Yes, I had a discussion with your wife about that. I don't want Ross to get snipped, okay? So it'll diminish what levels of, testosterone 717 is going to drop down. I have.
But see, that's one thing. So we could have said, listen, I think she's actually holding out for more kids. Sure. I think that's why she hasn't had them have to get snipped. Because I think she actually wants more children.
Sure.
Do you saying? So I'm going, because I'm going to respond back to her email and say, hey, why don't you ask him to have a vasectomy? You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't, now remember, I don't want to see people have vasectomies, but imagine this. Let's say he said, no, I'm not doing it. Don't mess with the female body.
Sure.
The female body is so delicate from its changes that the minute you disrupt one hormone in the female's body, it sets off a cascade of so many bad things. And birth control itself is an endocrine disruptor. Who said so? The people made it.
Correct.
Oh,
Here's another interesting thought then. Okay, so man of the house, husband, I'm going to give you a little bit of a go and collect $200 and focus on the wife for a second. Ma'am, if you are so focused on having children and being at the disposal of and that's where your value is coming from, and you're not getting the value. And if your husband doesn't want to have kids anymore and he feels that 3 is enough and he wants to do life with you and be the best dad possible and provide for you and love on you and be intimate with you and you alone, then listen to the man. He wants to grow old with you. Maybe you need to also go inward and see why it is that 3 isn't enough, that 4 isn't enough, or 5. Because there are some women out there that really see their only value and self-worth coming from being a mom. You are a wife first and foremost before you were a mother. So you also need to make sure that this decision that you're making is definitely a unified decision. This shouldn't be something that brings division and dysfunction into the home.
It should be a fight.
No, it shouldn't be at all.
There should be discussion between
I would have more,
but
my wife doesn't. So I'm okay with that. I'm blessed and honored to have the 2 that I have.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm content.
Actually, it's funny. Messages are coming in like crazy right now as I'm doing this. I know there's gonna be comments on there. Hey, where they gotta send questions to?
Send your questions to Ask Dr. Patrick at TWWclinics.com for any other question that you might have. We don't care if it's personal or if it's personal development or if it's business or if it's clinical or even stuff like we're talking about today.
I literally just got a bunch of messages. I wonder if they're messages or comments. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I wonder because it's gonna spark a lot of interest that way because what can happen? I know one of the questions. I just see it right here. Is it true that you can pass the hormone on? Yes, you can. That's why if you ever look at it this way, if you actually, so let's go back to medication. If you take like low T cream, testosterone cream, it even says there, don't hold your wife's hand. Why? Because you can pass it to her that way.
That's insane.
He was saying, so when you take a synthetic form of hormone or any kind of hormone, you got to be very careful because you're going to pass it on that way.
We even talked about, remember, this was episodes back about the sensitivity of a body and allergies, that if your husband is eating foods that show up on your food allergies, but he's eating them and you are intimate through the fluid of the man, that it can be passed on to the wife.
Passed on, big time.
So, I mean, it's
things that are never taught.
Makes me crazy.
Except for the wellness way.
Yes, except for the wellness way.
Yes. So, hey, we have another question, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay, because we got what? About 12 minutes
12 minutes left. So thank you for letting us go on that rant. But honestly, talk it out. Please. Love on each other.
But in essentially, young lady, remember this. It's essentially, let's say your husband's gone. You know what I'm saying? Let's say he dies. Guess what happens? It's you.
Yeah.
You're left with a sick body. Do you say? Sometimes you got to remember, you got to take care of you. So take care of yourself. If he disagrees, there's sometimes you have to take a stance when they're doing something that's detrimental for you. And he may justify with idiotic reasons, but he doesn't live in your body.
Correct.
Trust me. Tell him no. Tell him stop it. And don't feel guilty because you're going to make the right choice for your body. Because you know something? You talk about now, guess what? Get cancer. It's going to cost you your life. It's going to cost you a lot of things that way. You're going to lose all your money.
And you're going to have resentment well up on the inside of you for following this hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
And then you're going to blame him, which is going to be more divisive to your relationship than anything. So please talk this out. All right, question number 2. Dr. Flynn, I have a limited budget, but I want to start taking the steps to be healthy. If you could pick one test and only one to start with, which one would you pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, so let's walk through this, okay? Because this does come up a lot. Let me make this point. In all of our Wellness Way doctors, I just had this wonderful conversation with Dr. Thomas about this up in Iron Mountain. It was kind of cool because we always want everybody to get care, okay? It's essential. Let me tell you right now, if you're not doing this kind of care and you depend on your medical doctor, you're going to be a very sick person.
Sure.
Okay? I'm not being mean about it, but guess what? Which drug or surgery you want to when you go to a doc, okay? Because that's what they do. And I don't care if your pediatrician or your doctor's holistic, he still doesn't know what to do, okay? Second of all, I want you to think about this, is when you look at the amount of budget that people have, healthcare can be a very expensive. I've always said going to a wellness way isn't cheap. It never will be cheap and stuff like that. And because once again, there's things that cost money that way. So where do you start? Let's say you're a single parent. Let's say you're a single man, single woman that way. But you want to start the health journey. You know that you have to do something that way.
You can even be you can have husband and wife and kids, but only be a single income.
Yeah, single income that way.
So not just single parent.
Yeah, so it might be you want to start with a test for your child, test for your adult. Right. Now, let's differentiate that way, okay? Because if you really look at things that what women go through, okay? People would say, Doc, being the hormone whisperer, you'd say get a hormone test done right away.
Right.
No, honestly, I wouldn't. Okay, I believe that every woman and every male has to have their hormones tested. But her question is, I'm on a limited budget. What if you choose one test?
Food allergy?
That's the test I'd choose first.
Yep.
Okay, and the reason why is this. Test something that now that you individually have control over. See, when you do a hormone test, I just got this message on Facebook from a lady yesterday. Said, Doc, I watched your thing on Clomid on Saturday. I'd like to actually get my hormones tested. How much does it cost? And what do I do? Okay. Well, see, you can go to the Dutch website and get the test. It's by far the best test.
The Dutch is what?
It's actually the urine test that you use to actually gives you a very good picture of most of the hormones. Not all. You do need blood, but if you just want to do one test hormones, that's your choice. Okay. But then what happens is you get test back, you have no clue what to do with it that way. So you still need a doc like us to interpret it and give you guidance on there.
Yes.
Man, a food test, you can actually look and go, hey, listen, guys, if you ever look at this, so let's walk backwards. There's one thing that all doctors agree upon, that every condition on the planet starts with some form of inflammation. It doesn't start with some form of hormone problem.
Right.
It doesn't start with some form of this, and everything. It starts with some inflammatory reactions. Now, people say, oh, Doc, hormones can lead to inflammation. Yeah, but before that, there's some inflammatory trigger that way.
Sure.
Okay. At least with a food. Once again, I had my own personal experience with eggs, okay? Even with foods, that the minute that you actually get that test back, you don't need a doctor.
No, because all you have to do is stay away from the ones that are triggers.
That's right. If all of a sudden you react to eggs, don't eat them.
Right.
Okay? And so you can start now choosing what's right for your body, okay? Because these general statements, and Durham, see, a lot of people say, Doc, what do you think of this diet? What do you think of this diet? I'll tell you right now that any diet you choose right now will work.
Absolutely.
That surprises people when I say that. You know why I say it's going to work? Because if you go to the South Beach diet or you go to the Atkins diet, which their products, they even have artificial sweeteners or any of them that way.
Yep.
Most people eat like crap.
Yes.
Most people, for example, eat so bad that if they change anything in their diet, they're like,
they're going to reap the benefits
of
that. Yes.
It's so much better. But then they hit a wall.
Yes.
Because once again, they have other problems going on. But the nice thing about when you actually get your foods tested that way, it individually picks out what your body cannot have.
Yes.
And yours is different than mine. It's different than Brand's, different than Riley's, and stuff like that. It's different than anybody there. So every wellness way across the country, just walk in there. Guess what? Get a food allergy test done. Okay. Oh, doc, do I have to get care? No. Just get your test done.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want more guidance, then go to our website and look for, the docs that are there. I mean, we have amazing doctors. I cannot say this enough, and I will say this every show. We have such amazing doctors. I had a nice little conversation with Dr. Brenda this morning. It's really funny. She actually promoted like all of the shows of all the docs. I'm like, Dr. Brenda, you should be doing a show. You know what I'm saying? She's an amazing lady. She's been in practice for a long time.
Great information to put out
That's
there.
right. She has a heart of gold.
Yep.
She actually does well. So all of our docs are great that way. I want all the docs to get information out that way. So if we circle back around, number one, start with the foods because it's something that you have complete control over. Do you understand? Tonight, you can decide if you want to choose to eat something bad or eat something good. You can decide to eat an allergen or not eat an allergen.
Yes, and this really doesn't come down to an issue at that point of a financial investment that's going to break you.
No.
What it's really going to do is put in front of you a decision to actually take control of your approach to healthcare.
Right.
Or you're just going to be an individual that's just going to continually walk around with a blanket statement of just saying, well, being healthy is too expensive. And you got to get over that mindset because that's just not the truth. The starting steps to really getting onto a path of better health is just taking control and making better decisions, period, and not putting a monetary issue, like kind of mindset on it because ignore that. Ignore the quest for a healthier and happier living. And I promise you this, you will pay the price eventually. Your body will respond, and that financial commitment that you think right now is too high to get onto a healthier trajectory in life, you will pay more in the long run by the damage that you do internally that they will now have to medically fix.
Hey, we want to say hi to Angie.
Angie.
She's awesome. Hi to Mindy Wender up north in UP that way. Amazing lady. I've known her for a long time. Oh, but then Dr. Brenda said, let's do it.
I love it.
Dr. Brenda,
come on.
All the audience for here at the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show are now know that you committed to do some, even if it's just a 10, 15 minute, Facebook video every single week so we can share it to our audience that way. And so I love Dr. Brenda. She's awesome. And all of our ladies, we have Dr. Cynthia from Houston, another office we have. We have Dr. Brenda we have Dr. Beth down there. We have Dr. Angie down.
Yes.
Man, down in Houston is female dominated.
It's awesome. And y'all,
ladies.
Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to all of you who were affected by Hurricane Harvey. And even though Dr. Angie, their office, they had some damage. There was water but they're continuing to see patients still. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all of you.
Yes.
And but still, once again, because we were there, Doc, I'm going to tell you, we used to be the ones that thought that being healthy was just too darn expensive. Eating right was just too darn expensive. Eating organic, just too darn expensive. But at some point in time, what really gets expensive?
Being sick.
Is being sick.
Being sick. You know what I'm saying? When you are sick, yesterday, because like I said, once again, now remember, when I say I'm seeing patients, please do not ask me to actually become a new patient.
Can you see me?
We have Dr. Jason, Dr. Mitch,
my schedule's
Greg.
wide open.
Your schedule's wide open. We have Dr. Kelly. We have Nicole. We have all these wonderful docs here. Dr. Jesse in the Green Bay office that way. Yes. So don't ask me when I say I see patients. Like, Doc, you still see patients? No, I only see a handful of people that I've seen forever. Okay, but I was sitting with one yesterday, having a chat with her that her mom just died. Okay. And it was interesting because she's like, Doc, she goes, guess what? The nursing home and all the medical bills took everything that they had saved in retirement and stuff away. Do you understand, guys? The majority of you watching here, okay, majority of Americans will lose their retirement, will not be able to pass down generational money to their family because it will be consumed by health care.
Yes.
And not really health care, sick and dying management care and keeping you alive and keep you pumped full of drugs and surgery to keep you getting through there, and you will lose everything.
True.
Your insurance does not cover everything. Heck, get Medicare. Ask people on Medicare. It has a limit. And guess what? Nursing homes, they have a limit. So guess what? They end up actually losing all their fortune that way.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's devastating for those families that way. Don't do it. You think you don't have time to get a food test. You think you don't have time to I just got to pass through because we're running to our kids' soccer, so we're going to stop at McDonald's.
Easy, you want convenient, you want right now. And that's really one of the things, too. You got to become a label reader.
Yes.
You got to be worried about what kind of junk you're putting into your body.
Yep.
Man, because if it's got a longer shelf life than the years that you live on this earth, it shouldn't be inside of you.
A lot of people, what I'll do is I'll take certain foods, like I took some fast food and I put it out in my weight room. And it's been there since 2010. And people walk in and go, why didn't it mold? I said, because the mold takes bugs. The bugs are smarter than you are.
Yes. And if a dog or animals won't even eat it?
Oh, my goodness. I would tell people, if a worm doesn't eat your apple, then you shouldn't. It's like, here's what happens, guys. Guess what? It's kind of cool.
My.
I have some apples in my refrigerator. People talk about fast food. I'm going to get done with my show. I'm going to walk in, grab an apple, eat it. That was darn fast.
Yes.
There's your fast food.
There it is.
It's really funny because here's also people say, I can't eat healthy on a budget. Do you know how cheap organic lettuce is? Do you know how cheap organic carrots is? What they want to do, here's what happens. Here's what people do when they say, I can't eat organically. They want to take their cookies, they want to take everything that they eat and transform it just in organic.
Yes.
Well, food companies are smart, so they've taken everything that way and made every cracker, every cookie, every processed food and turned it into something that you could do organically.
Right.
But cost-wise, it's huge.
Absolutely.
Vegetables and fruits and things like that are extremely cheap. You know what I'm saying? You say, Doc, well, I want some meats. Then bypass the store and go to your local farmer and ask them to raise some chickens.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Ask them for some beef that way.
But here's the problem. Why, though? It means that people actually have to become informed, and they have to educate themselves, and they've got to now be intentional with taking control of this area of their health. And instead of being able to point the finger and blame somebody else, it means now they got to look in the mirror and take ownership. And I'm going to tell you, if that freaks you out, then you're going to have a really rough existence when it comes to being able to wrestle with yourself the idea of actually taking control of your health care.
Yes.
You can't just sit there and blame everybody. Well, it's too expensive. It just costs too much. I just don't have time.
Yes. So what did we learn today? Your husband wants you to take birth control. Tell him you're not going to have sex with him.
Right.
And number two,
real quick.
Yeah. And number two, get your food test done.
Get it done. Get it done. Because it really is. I mean, we did it. And, Leslie, and tell you, to be honest with you, just by the fact that she did it when we were looking for bringing kids into this world, it was huge. Because by nature, her quest for better health turned into my quest for better health. So we're excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, continue to like and share this episode. Put it out there because this is a great episode on so many levels.
And go to our website.
Yeah, go to our website, TWWclinics.com. Look for the nearest wellness way to you.
Yes.
Get their phone number. Call. If you've got questions, reach out to them. Once again, we always say, you have not because you ask not. So please do yourself a favor. Reach out, ask those questions. And to be honest with you, I can't tell you, we're excited because next Tuesday is going to be another amazing episode that we get to spend with you. We'll see you then. Thank you.